Vinny Pasquantino and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog this morning, but a slight chance of showers this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies with a high near 69. Tonight, a chance of showers with a low near 51. Tomorrow, a chance of showers in the afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny with light winds and a high near 72. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK, make flying easy.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And electrical.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com. Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in May. Try a pesto BLT or a pizza bagel for lunch. Also, enjoy a new energy fusion drink in a variety of flavors and get a caramel latte with 10% of all sales going to the Hope Venture. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward, Bagels and Joe.
Welcome to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Gray. Former Husker football national champion, speaker, and author, Aaron Davis.
Nebraska will win the national championship. The Cornhuskers beat Miami. It is history, 13-0, and bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Former Arena Football League quarterback, former head coach of the Capital City Crush, and guru of Husker football history, Chris Raff.
25 straight wins for the Cornhuskers. One of the most dominating stretches in college football history.
We may have seen one of the best teams in the history of college football tonight.
12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska East sports coach, Ahman Green.
Look at Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown.
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick is yelling at me to start things off, ladies and gentlemen. I just want you to know that right now. He's yelling at me because something happened to him yesterday. I don't want to welcome you all to a beautiful Tuesday morning. The sun is out, but I was just being yelled at by Nick. Do this, do that, do this, do that.
No, I did
and then
not.
it made me more nervous, and I'm trying to get the headset on. He just put the microphone down and talk.
Yeah. I said you don't need to have headphones on instantly.
Well,
Just
you know
move
what?
the mic.
Raff, you know what, man? I hope Nick is not going to care for any people that is older than him, elderly, because he's going to be one mean. He's going to remind me of that guy in Happy Gilmore. Remember the dude? Remember Ben Stiller? How he was treating Happy's mom, Raff?
Oh yeah, I do. You know what?
Nick, man. He looks like him too.
You know what I think about with Nick is the skinnier he gets, the bigger six pack he gets, the bigger shoulders he gets meaner.
He does.
That's not true at all.
No, Nick, you
Are you saying I need to be fat?
No, since you've slimmed down, your temper has went slim too, man, to where you just come at people. You came at me. I'm just trying to get situated. I'm listening to your pain from yesterday.
That's what.
And you just put it out on me. I'm just trying to be a comforting ear.
I did. I'm. The moment was too big. I'll be 100% honest. I took my frustrations at the regarding the game of golf out on you, Aaron Davis, and I apologize.
You got to talk to this man, dude.
David was right there alongside for all of it. It was atrocious.
See, I made a post the other day. Raff knows this. I think, Nick, that we've known each other. I think you know it. I would say you probably know it now. And I put on there, I got a temper.
Yeah, you do.
But I work hard every day, literally every morning. I pray about it. I write because I don't want, and I get it from my mom. My mama, she wouldn't just goes nuts or nothing like that. But she didn't take nothing from nobody.
And when you knew if she got worked up, it was for a reason.
Chief, my mom was 5'2.5", maybe. I seen her drop my oldest brother with an uppercut. Great. She did not play because he said something smart. My mom was from Pittsburgh. My parents from the street. She goes, "What'd you say to me?" And there's like a 12-year difference between me and my brother.
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
She caught him with an uppercut.
Yeah,
Tyson would have been proud. And that big brother, because Butchie was a big dude.
Yeah.
That brother staggered.
He wobbled.
Long story short.
It's like the UFC fights on Saturday nights. Oh, he's wobbling.
Remember that
Will
meme?
he go down?
Remember that meme where the guy's going like
that?
Yeah, man. So I have to fight hard to keep it under check. But think back to you. It's tough sometimes to keep that golf club, especially when you shot as good as you did on the front.
Yep.
The first 9.
Yep.
And then the polar opposite on the back.
I just lost it. I lost it. Raff, I was telling AD literally right before we went on air. And I told David this yesterday, because shout out to David for letting me play with him last night in Golf League. Here's the deal. I had a decision to make at one point after I missed my 15,000th 3-foot putt of the night. I had a decision. Do I chuck my putter or do I chuck my golf ball? And I looked down at each one and I seriously contemplated my putter. I don't get that frustrated at golf. I'm not good enough to get that frustrated. But I shot, I think it was like 6 over. I shot like a 41, 42 or something on the front 9. I shot pretty well for my abilities. And we were also playing at a pretty narrow course. And so the fact that I was like playing the way I played, I felt pretty good about it. Mm-hmm. And I played decent on Sunday at Corey Oaks as well for my skill level. And so I was feeling good about my golf game going into this day. I backed it up on the front nine. The back nine, I don't know what happened. I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I couldn't. And so it all started with a tee shot that went out of bounds. So I looked down and I ended up chucking my golf ball into like way into Narnia, and it worked out well. And I thought, you know what? That's probably for the best because there's about a $285 difference between the golf ball I used and the putter I used. And so it's probably for the best that I chucked the golf ball rather than the club.
You know, Raff, and Big B, thank you so much. I said Tuesday. It is Wednesday today.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, my days are all messed up, man. It's so, yeah, I think I'm just so excited to see the sun this morning. I didn't care what I was just like, the sun is out. Raff, you know what, dude? I'm thinking, I don't think I've ever seen you snap but once, and we won't go into that one.
Ooh.
No, we're not gonna share that one on
No, come on. What happened?
No. It was, yeah. I was just simply say it as this: you don't want to poke the big bear.
Because I just experienced my first snapped club in a group that I'm playing with a couple of weeks
ours
ago.
Had nothing to do with golf. Raff was doing the right thing, to put it that way.
Oh,
but it
Raff.
was, yeah. But you know, we was like, yeah, we got to calm big fella down. But on the golf course, though, I've never seen Raff just like snap. I've seen Raff just go, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Things like that. But Raff has seen me throw a 6-iron.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys want to know the story?
I don't know.
Why I don't
free it?
Yeah, why I don't get mad on the golf course?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. So when I was probably 8 or 9, well, probably 10 years old or whatever, me, my mom, and dad went to the junior golf course, and I got mad and I threw the golf club at my dad.
Oh, that's a problem.
Oh,
what did your dad do?
Well, he didn't do anything, but it upset my mom, and then it upset me because I was like, what am I doing? I just threw a golf club at my dad. So since then I've been an angel trying to make up for that one downfall. And let me tell you, my mom still brings that up to this day. She'll be like, remember when you threw your golf club at your dad? And I was like, yeah, Mom, that's been 41 years ago, but she just won't let it go.
That's so funny. I experienced my first, maybe my buddy's listening. I'm not going to say his name just out of respect. Maybe he's listening because sometimes he listens while he's working, driving around Lincoln. But so it was a couple of weeks ago we were playing, and he is a guy that shoots consistently high, 70s, very low 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Like he shot an 82 at Corey Oaks over the weekend. So he's a very good golfer. We're about 7 holes in or something. And I was ahead. I was beating him, and which is uncharacteristic. And I think he was really struggling, and we felt bad for him. But he ends up on a par 3, duffing it or chunking it into the ravine in the bottom, and that's out of play. And before we could even walk back to our carts, he just has his club on the ground and just goes boom, snapped it in half, stepped on it and snapped it in half. He looks at it and the shaft is bent, and the club head is just hanging on for dear life as it's bent in half. And none of us said a single thing.
Nope.
And then it was about 3 holes later, we're like, well, do you regret it? And he's like, yeah, that was one of my favorite clubs.
I went out with a buddy at Holmes Lake. This has probably been like 20 years ago. He was in 8-iron next to the water, dumped the ball into the water. He snapped his 8-iron over his knee and threw it in the water and just kept on walking. I was like, okay, I'm with a different kind of golfer today.
Yeah. Okay, these guys must actually hold themselves to some sort of standard on the golf course.
I'm telling you, man, it's golf is a game. I'll tell you what this guy is thinking about it. It makes us duffers and hackers appreciate the pros, how they do it
100%.
Week in and week out. And their bad day is a career best for us.
Absolutely.
But it shows you just how good those guys really are, man.
What I've learned honestly the most is that it's their ability to minimize misses. Like that's the number one thing in even like amateur golf that for us is like, okay, how can we minimize misses? Instead of going for the pin, let's just go for the green. Let's just be in the middle of the green. We 2-putt, whether it's a par, whether it's a bogey, we move on with our day.
Yeah.
Their ability to minimize misses and be able to attack pins, to be able to hit specifically a 64-yard shot instead of a 68-yard shot, it's exceptional. And that's where I think because we do play the game, and the other amateur golfers that are listening, first off, let us know if you've ever snapped or if you've ever chucked or if you've ever been with somebody that's done that to a golf club while you guys have been playing and what happened and stuff, and we'll shout it out. But then on top of it is it allows us to, like you said, appreciate how consistent they are, because like guys like Scotty, I mean their ability to put a golf ball wherever they want, the spin and everything that the English that they can put on it, it's just remarkable.
You know what, Raff and Nick, we'll say this, we'll segue to another one, but it's a remarkable topic. But you know what, Nick, I tell you what, I would like to bring Scotty Scheffler to go call a baseball or basketball game like you.
Sure.
You know, I always have to keep that in perspective when I'm playing. Is my expectations do not my practice and my ability do not match my expectations. So I have to remind myself all the time that AD, those guys practice hours upon. I mean, they literally have calluses on their hands. From obviously, there's a lot of talent they've been blessed with, but they also hone and work on their craft. But I don't ever think about that when I'm on the course shooting 148.
No, I was gonna say I'm just trying to keep it under 85. Like, can I keep it under 85?
I will say this though, AD can throw a club a long way.
That's all the lifting in the gym does for you. Man, I gotta get more distance on that.
I was pissed at myself for doing it because I hadn't done that in a very long time. But this particular hole at Pioneers Park, they call it Davis Cove. Because my ball, you know what I'm talking about.
It always is left.
My ball always ends up over there. And I had just snapped. I just lost it that day. And I was pissed at myself. I was like, AD, come on, man. And I haven't done it since.
AD's at the gym lifting. They're like, AD, what, you trying to hit that 8-iron farther? No, I'm trying to throw it farther.
It was unreal.
I'm not trying to hit the ball farther. My distance is fine. I'm just trying to throw it farther.
Oh, it was unreal. I just saw that thing, and it was so funny. I mean, I know he was upset about it, but when he sits back in the cart, I'm like, did you see how far that golf club went?
That's good. That's good.
Raff was like, just go put your ball where the club ended up.
Go ahead and drop. Yeah, go ahead and drop. You're about 195 yards away from the pin. We got Old Dad 34 says, I threw my 9-iron and it got stuck at the top of a tree. That's awesome. Big B says, I used to entice an old friend who would get mad. It was far too funny to watch him lose his mind.
That is wrong, Big B. That's wrong, but it's kind of funny too, though, dog.
Yeah. Wendell says, or WIB says, we primarily play as a scramble when our group plays. It just makes it more fun for us that are not very good at golf. And that 100%, I mean, that's a really good and probably a more mature approach to the game of golf and our current games. Nice job.
Oh, wow. Now, this is not good. Actually, it's good, but it's not good. Merv says, my story on why not to lose temper on the golf course. Way back in high school, a foursome of us went on a trip out of town to hit some small courses. My buddy topped 2 balls in a row, snapped his club over his knee and threw it. The shaft had splintered as he chucked it. The splinter sliced his wrist. Small town hospital trip ensued.
Jeez.
Whoa.
That's insane. Kip says, my buddy hit a bad drive on the last hole one round, threw his club, and it hit one of the marble yardage signs and snapped. We wrote silently to the green and then all laughed at him. That's what I'm saying. Is you have to, I mean, as soon as it happens, like I think everybody in the group is just in shock.
Yeah.
And then you start driving, and then about like 2 holes later, it's like, okay, you know what? Do you regret doing it? He's like, yeah, that's my favorite club. and then the next week, guess what? The shaft was replaced, and he was hitting his 50-degree wedge. Almost snapped it a second time because there was a little bit of frustration at Corey Oaks, but it all worked out. So
those are stories of life. What's that, Raff?
I will say this about the Davis boys. I don't think they ever forgave themselves for what they did to me on the golf course. I deserved it.
What'd you do? What happened?
Oh, you talking about that horse?
Yeah, when I was doing a little bit of dancing, and I might have talked a little bit of trash to them, but they never did apologize. I don't think for their actions.
Okay, Raff, you got to give us context here.
Put it this way, Raff. Me and Raff played a 2-man scramble, our own balls against Aiden Keenan, and they had been boat racing us the past couple times out. But that was their first time the Wild Horse. And Keenan, who's the best golfer of us, could not keep a ball in the fairway there, and they struggled. Raff nailed one over 300.
Wow!
And that dance I posted for his birthday. They said something. Raff said something to them. They didn't call him Uncle Raff. Put it that way.
Let's just say it this way. On the next hole, birds were flying.
I love nature out of Wild Horse. Rubber Duck from LinkedIn says, but see, you always hit that one shot that keeps you coming back.
You're
And that's
spot on.
As atrocious as I played last night, guess what I finished with? A par. And it just always makes you coming back. Keeps you coming back. On the last hole, I ended up driving. I hit driver because I looked at David. I said, David, what do I have to lose? I'm going to try to drive the green here. I got about 20 yards maybe from the green. I ended up duffing my chip shot, and then I two-putted for par. So that was how I ended the day. So,
Corey, you're exactly right. Before we segue into something else, the people that don't appreciate golf's consistency and skill have never hit a golf shot in their life. Once it happens, that feeling of this can be so easy takes over when you slice at 85 yards onto the wrong hole. See you 3-wood.
Yeah.
Corey, you're exactly right, man. It's a game of a lot of practice, a lot of skill, and a lot of frustration, but you know what? Lifelong fun. You guys, speaking of lifelong, Jeff Essink tried to end my life this morning in class.
Whoa.
He told me no excuses. I can't run, because I got a bulging disc. And Jeff goes, he goes, come on, AD, because we were going one into the gym, the other doing sit-ups, and the other jump rope. And so I'm waddling down there, and Jeff, and I started laughing. He goes, no excuses. I was like, okay, coach. I was having flashbacks, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But I love it. It was a good sweat this morning, but no excuses with Jeff. He definitely does not take any bull crap in the gym, and I love that.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something that was some bull crap, and we'll talk about it now, but also when we come back. Jordy Ball does not win Player of the Year.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre, guys. One of the few players to ever have 20 wins in the circle and 20 home runs. She's just the fourth player in Division I college softball history to ever accomplish that feat. And she does not win Player of the Year. And so I suppose, Raff, let's use it as motivation next year, right? Can you imagine what the type of conversation would be if she does it for a second consecutive year next year? Like we're talking about another. I mean, she's going to be in a very similar role. It's going to be a very similar looking softball team for Nebraska. There's an opportunity there to do something. I mean, once again, as I mentioned yesterday, to etch her name into the all-time greats category for college softball.
Can she become the greatest?
Well, she's got 2 titles. So I think she's already on the brink of that. I think we have to be realistic. It's hard to have the greatest conversation when they're still playing, right? Like, I think that's a conversation that maybe like 5 or 10 years removed. We talk about it, give them the flowers when they're playing, and that's important. But we know how it is, right, AD Raff? We know how it is. It's easier to appreciate something once it's gone. Yeah. And once you can have a couple of years to look back and be like, yeah, you know what? That was pretty spectacular what they were able to accomplish in the moment.
Raff, I haven't dug into Bree Ellis, the gal that won it from Arkansas. And Nick, you may have that. I'm kind of pulling some up here, but I see Kevin Suits posted it yesterday on Twitter when I first. Actually, Raff sent it and Kevin Suits sent it. I seen it on there, and I don't know her stats. Obviously, she had a heck of a year, so it's definitely not taking anything away from her and her accomplishments. But before I comment on it, I got to see what the stats look like.
Well, I mean, she was pretty good this year. So it was her second year at Arkansas. She transferred, I want to say, from Auburn 2 years ago. This was her second year at Arkansas. Played in 58 games for the Razorbacks. Had 59 hits on the year, 9 doubles, 26 home runs, 72 RBI, which is a significant jump from what she's had her previous 3 years. I was looking at it last night. She had less than 50 RBI her entire career, or in a season in her entire career. It was like 42, and then like 48. And then she jumps up and has 72 RBI this season. Only struck out 15 times at the plate. She hit 440 at the plate, which is insane. 440.
Who was Jordy at the plate?
I want to say it was just shy of 400. Yeah. But anyway, so her on-base percentage, 639, and then her slugging was a 1.090. She was incredible. And a big reason why she won the award was because of her hitting thing.
What were her pitching stats?
Well, and that's the other part, right? Yeah. That's the other part. I think that's what I was actually just going to say is we have to remember that we do this thing where when we talk about Jordy Ball, we consider her entire career into this conversation. And while she was insanely spectacular this year, I mean, once again, the 20 home runs and 20 wins in the circle, one of the fourth player to ever accomplish that feat. We add it to her in her corner that she's a 2-time national champion, that she's a 2-time All-American, that she is. I mean, we forget that part too. So that's not me justifying this. She should have
too. Jordy hit 459 this year.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Raff, I can comment now knowing those stats because I didn't know. I just looked at it and was like, okay, I'll be curious. You guys have rolled those out. I find it hard to understand how she doesn't win. You take let's say you just put both of their numbers down on paper and you erase what schools they're from, etc. DP, please fill in and pontificate on this a little bit too. I don't understand. You take both of the schools off. You just look strictly at numbers alone. With the numbers I've heard thus far, DP.
Listen, we were talking yesterday about the SEC having too much influence and too much impact over how tournament seedings are done, how Player of the Year awards are being done, how business is being done. And listen, Jordy Ball shouldn't have to pay because the SEC is flexing.
Right.
Is flexing.
Right.
Jordy's offensive numbers toe-to-toe with Brielle's.
Yeah.
Toe-to-toe. Look, we're talking about, she had 26 home runs, 72 RBIs, to 23 home runs and 66 RBI. One hit 450 plus one hit 440. But only one of them won 26 games on the bus in the circle.
DP, now I'm just getting pissed off again. I'm working on that temper thing.
right. Sitting in the back, and you try to figure out, listen, I understand that sometimes it's just my money's bigger than yours.
Right? Isn't this just blatant, no, DP? Isn't this just blatant?
It's absolutely blatant. Middle of the country, Nebraska, losing out because, quite frankly, the SEC wanted to throw some weight around. This is in the same weekend that 13 SEC teams get into the baseball tournament.
Yes.
Which stop it.
Okay, DP, while you're here, let me ask you this. And I was thinking about this morning when I was putting our notes together. Besides volleyball, and I think, in fact, Rack, I've texted you this, Raff, earlier. Besides volleyball, do you think Nebraska gets any respect even when they're in respectful positions in sports?
No. It's been 30 years.
But why is that,
It's been 30 years. Middle of the country. You got to remember that when you're the hero at points, people will take shots. You're now a target.
Because when we were winning, we were getting.
When you were winning,
we got dogged for everything.
Still middle of the country.
We were villains,
still, right? Amongst all of it, the battle of it. You have to be Caitlin Clark good, but Jordy Ball was on a softball level.
And
Caitlin Clark good.
2 positions.
Yep, in 2 positions. She's an All-American, both in the field. I mean, in the circle and at home plate. Shame on them for doing this. Yep. Shame on them. You could have said it was the other young lady who was also strong in the plate, powerful in the circle. You could have said 100 things. What you said was, we're going to take the easy layup. We're going to take the cheapie. You took the cheapie.
Yeah. The other finalist for context was Nigeri Kennedy from Texas Tech.
Okay, so
was the transfer from Stanford.
You guys, so let me ask you this. And DP, thanks so much for bringing that and shed some light on that too. I didn't want to comment until Raff and Nick, and listeners, until I knew the stats. Looking at the stats now, and Nick and Raff, 2 positions.
Yeah.
Hey,
he gave me the head nod.
Hey, Raff, one of your roadies just gave Nick the head nod. The guy that has the lung dart right from his lip.
That's my guy.
He gave him the brother nod. He was like, "Sup?"
Yep.
Didn't spill no ash dropped either.
I would say that cigarette did not move. That entire head went up. He just head movement. But anyway, yes, yeah, it's frustrating just because it feels like they are. It's a slight. I mean, it's a very big slight.
Riley W., I agree with you, brother. Snub of the century. Learning those numbers, it's ridiculous. I know we'll probably dive in some more of this a little bit when we come back as well. But yeah, just knowing those numbers, Raff and Nick, it's just hard to understand, man.
Well, we are up against the clock. We got a loaded show today. We should probably tell the people what we got coming up. Obviously, a little bit more softball conversation. Husker baseball is going to continue to prepare for Chapel Hill. I did a little deep dive into the North Carolina Tar Heels baseball team.
I love it.
Yesterday, so we got a little bit of conversation there. Oregon, it was incredible. Oregon loses out on a 5-star commit after they make a dramatic
we're
video.
definitely going to discuss that when we come back.
We have a special guest joining us in about an hour, Connor Onion, who you've heard on Big Ten Network on Fox Sports. He does play-by-play. He called the last 2 Big Ten championship games for the Husker baseball team. He's going to break down the Big Ten tournament.
I can't wait to hear.
I have to ask him about format because now that we're removed from the Big Ten tournament, as somebody that was active in the Big Ten tournament, like Connor was on the call for the Big Ten Network, I want to get his thoughts on the Big Ten tournament format. And I was texting back. I was texting back and forth with him yesterday. It was funny because I was texting him yesterday. Here's what he said. He goes, "I can't believe that Nebraska pulled it off. It's crazy how far a dropped fly ball can take you." And so I want to get his thoughts on just Michigan State, that whole situation as well. So that's at 10:30 coming up in about an hour.
Connor's coming at 10:30. At 10 o'clock, Troy Dannon was on last night. A lot of changes coming to Memorial Stadium. Want to get your insight and opinions on that. And yes, Ron, Jeff beat us up this morning. It was a brutal one to Farrell, so I'm going to have to beat up little bro the next time I see him, catch him with a gut punch. Riley W., exactly right. Snub of the century. IQ crew. Yep, I agree. Jordy might be able to join the snub club with Frazier and Sue because those were some big snubs as well.
Oh, that Ndamukong Suh one was bad.
Oh, horrendous.
Tommy was worse.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Eddie George knows. You just give the trophy back to him. Nevertheless, folks, we'll be back. We'll talk some NBA quick and more softball, baseball, and get some input. It's a drive.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in May. Try a pesto BLT or a pizza bagel for lunch. Also, enjoy a new energy fusion drink in a variety of flavors and get a caramel latte with 10% of all sales going to the Hope Venture. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward, Bagels and Joe.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
1221 N Street, Lincoln. CordellCordell.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the 2nd season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK. Make flying easy.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog this morning, then a slight chance of showers this afternoon. Otherwise cloudy skies with a high near 69. Tonight a chance of showers with a low near 51. Tomorrow a chance of showers in the afternoon. Otherwise partly sunny with light winds and a high near 72. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we're back on this beautiful Wednesday morning. The sun is out. 56 degrees is what we got here at the capital city. Actually, 57 degrees we got here. High of 67 today. Raff, what's it looking like in Huntsville, man?
It's really weird right now. The sun's out, but it's cloudy. If we can get through 2 and 3 o'clock today, we might have a day without rain, and then it starts again at like 2 a.m. tonight. So, or this morning.
You guys have had some serious rain down there, brother.
Yeah, all it does is rain down here. It's like Seattle of the South.
Seattle of the South. It appears that once us here in Lincoln hit Friday, the hot weather is coming.
Yeah, it's gonna be back. It's gonna be back.
I'm excited.
I want it. I don't want like.
I do like that jacket a lot, though. I might have to.
Uh-oh.
That.
The Unreal.
I like
I don't know
that.
if it'll fit your shoulders. Your shoulders are so big. Thing. You know, you'd be looking like David Banner from the Incredible Hulk. That's still before your time. But remember, Raff, his eyes would turn green.
Oh yeah, Bill Bixby.
What would he say, Raff? Tell Nick what he would say.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
That was Nick this morning, man. I was fumbling with my headphones. I was getting nervous. He was like, "Hey, D, just put your headphones on and get the mic." I was like, "Dog, just relax a little bit, man."
Well, see, here's the thing: is we had 13 seconds left in the music before it turned off, and we don't want to start the show with just dead silence. And I was like, "Hey, D, just move the mic, do something."
You made me nervous because I didn't know what to do first, man.
He started fidgeting more.
I was
quicker. He couldn't multitask.
I didn't have my protein shake yet.
Yeah.
You know, Nick, I was thinking about you this morning.
He didn't have his protein.
Nick, oh, see, you know what I'm gonna do, Raff? Remember that anger problem we talked about? Nick's about to be recipient of a 2-piece.
How far can you throw Nick?
I'm lighter. I'm more aerodynamic now.
Okay. It ain't no swimming pool anymore. It's one lane, man.
Yeah. I'm aerodynamic.
So Nick,
I can fly.
I was thinking about you.
Oh no.
And I was sniffing at my goal, but I was like, I gotta catch Nick. 1,013 calories this morning burned.
Whoa.
That's
really good.
I was gonna shut it down at 990. I'm like, no, swim would get about a G.
Yeah, I'm sitting about a G a day.
Yeah, I know you. I was like, I gotta catch the young fella.
Well, you still got it. I'm glad.
Yeah, I had to catch the young snapper, but I'm gonna punch you in your throat in a second.
Whoa. I was being encouraging. I was encouraging you.
Throat punch.
Come on.
Well, speaking of other throat punches, before we get into that last night's quick rundown of NBA.
How's this transition going to go? Speaking of throat punches, here we go.
See, being the youngest out of 6 kids, I knew how to. I had to figure out to get my way out of a lot of problems because my older sisters and siblings would beat a brother down a lot. So I had to come up with some humdingers to my parents, man. Like, hey, you don't know what he just did to me. And Nick keeps being mean to me this morning. So, Raff, I'm about to just 2-piece him.
I feel like today hasn't even been bad in comparison to what it's been in the past at times.
Well, see, Nick, sometimes the dysfunctional seems functional.
That's true. Maybe I'm just getting used to it. This is the new norm.
Well, folks, this segment is brought to you by Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services. He's been a well-respected representative since 1999. You know, protect your home, your vehicle, your family, or even your future. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100 or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or in Seward and learn how Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services can help you. Gentlemen, like we tease and joke a lot about throat punches, but I'll tell you a team that is in serious trouble of being throat punched for the whole summer. And it's getting hectic for these individuals right now. The Pacers lead 3-1 over the Knicks. And Raff, Nick, I tell you what, do you think that New York, I was going to ask you this, we're not going to belabor the point long because we got another game tonight as well. We got to dive into some more stuff. But for the sake of the conversation, Raff, do you see New York climbing back from 3-1 deficit?
They have to, because I guaranteed it that it would be the Knicks in Oklahoma City. So they have to come back in.
And you said they should the series, remember?
What's that?
And you mentioned, are you going back to your point where you said they got to just skip this series?
Yeah, I did. And so they've got to come back in and win out. However, Halliburton is just playing at a whole nother level right now and proving everybody wrong that said he was not a top player in the NBA.
Nick, his numbers last night, 32 points, 12 boards, 15 assists, 4 steals.
Yeah, and from a star, not a super high volume of shots either. I mean, I think he went 9 of 19 from the field, which is fine. But in comparison to other attempts and numbers that we've seen guys try to put up with shot attempts and things like that, it's been far worse in the past from stars specifically. I don't know. I think I said it yesterday. How I think we're seeing guys like Tyrese Halliburton and SGA for Oklahoma City, and I think even on the other side with like Jalen Brunson, he's done it earlier in the playoffs. Like they're finding out ways to close out games. Like how can we close out games? And I think Tyrese Halliburton, and it helped being at home in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. But obviously, the Pacers are 1 win away from the NBA Finals. I think it's fascinating just because, guys, you look at just a couple of short years ago. I mean, we're talking about the Pacers, who were near the bottom of the Eastern Conference. And then on the other side, Oklahoma City, who felt like when Paul George was there, Russell Westbrook was ending his career or towards the tail end of his time in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City was trading away every single player that they had and getting draft stock. and they did it the right way to where now they're successful just a few short years later.
Right.
And it's kind of just fascinating to look back on the last 5-6 years. Oklahoma City specifically went through success with James Harden early in his career, Kevin Durant early in his career, and then obviously Russell Westbrook. And those were the teams that had like Serge Ibaka on them as well, who were really, really good in the NBA, but maybe not a championship caliber type of team. They go through a full rebuild where they pass everybody off on other teams and trade for draft picks. They have basically, it felt like every draft pick in the next 5, 6, 7 years. They find this kid in SGA and they bring him in, and now he's a superstar in the league. And I think it's really, really fascinating to look at what Indiana's done and what they've done, what they've moved on from the years where they had Roy Hibbert and Danny Granger and those types of players. Here they are, right in the thick of it with a budding superstar in Tyrese Haliburton.
Well, I tell you what, it helps when Haliburton has got some help too, like he did last night, because he had plenty of help. Because when you got a guy like Siakam that drops a 30-piece in for you, Naismith that drops in a nice 16.
They also added Pascal Siakam from the Toronto Raptors, which is pretty good too.
And he has been very consistent. And Turner with a quiet 13, but all those points were very loud when it comes down to a 9-point lead. And one of the key stats in there, Indiana scored 20 points off the turnovers that New York had. New York all year, that's been one of their bugaboos, particularly in the playoffs. They've been very generous with the ball, unfortunately, and it's cost them big time last night, giving up 20 points off the turnovers. Tonight, of course, you got Game 5 between the Thunder and the Timberwolves. Raff, that game's at 7:30. OKC's favored by 8.5 in that game tonight. Do you think that, Raff, that OKC, you mentioned it yesterday, so we'll be quick with that, but it's in Oklahoma City. I'm going to start it off. I'll go to you, Raff, and you to Nick. I don't see I see this game being over. I see Oklahoma putting them, drowning them slowly, kind of like Northwestern used to do to Nebraska in football over the years.
Kane Coulter.
It wasn't pretty. Yes.
Trevor Siemian.
Yes, all those guys. It wasn't pretty, but they would just take you into the deep end of the pool.
Yeah.
They'd let you fight and scratch and just say, we're done.
Yep.
Do you see that happening tonight in OKC, Raff?
Yep, it's over. OKC wins tonight. Done, finished. And then going back to Indiana Pacers, we're, talking to Connor here, 45 minutes, and, with that one catch for Nebraska in the outfield, you've got to think that one shot by Haliburton, they go to overtime. I mean, it's a completely different series.
Yeah, you're right. I think one thing I will say about tonight's game between Oklahoma City and Minnesota, it's an opportunity for Anthony Edwards. Like
it's big.
The national pundits, and as much as I hate to put any stock into what they say, one of the conversations that was on every national show yesterday was, did we crown Anthony Edwards too soon? And I was like, what are we doing? First off, second of all, he had 16 points in their last game against Oklahoma City. It was a loss, right? But it's a chance now for him to go out there and not put unnecessary pressure on himself, but respond the way a star would in the NBA, and go out there, try to take control of the game. Don't press too much, but try to take control of the game and see if you can lead your team to a victory and just keep on extending the series here. But yeah, I think Oklahoma City is in a very advantageous spot, but it's in Minnesota, correct?
Yes.
So it's in Minnesota. So which hasn't seemed to be an issue this year in the playoffs is teams going on the road.
No, that game is actually
OKC.
Oh, it is an OKC.
Oklahoma
Well, that
State,
makes it so even a bigger opportunity for Anthony Edwards, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ralph. I think even if Anthony Edwards does go nuts, I just don't think SGA and company is going to allow this opportunity to slip by, put them out of their misery.
Well, and then on the other side of that too, you talk about SGA, their ability here tonight. Don't play with your food.
That's right.
Right? Like there's that
Yep.
on both sides. There's a potential storyline here, because if OKC loses tonight and Minnesota's able to take it back to Minnesota,
that's dangerous.
That's playing with your food, and
Yep.
then you're in the disadvantageous position.
Folks, we come back. We got some history to discuss. We got a lot of changes at Memorial Stadium. We'll discuss at the top of the hour. 10:30, we got our guest coming in. Mr. Onion will be in. We'll be back. It's The Drive.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK, make flying easy.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Need service on your home air conditioner? No matter what brand you have, just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Me and Nick went outside and just sat outside on the bench that's located right outside here at 1040 O Street at the Mill.
You should too.
You should too. Absolutely, folks. It's a beautiful morning. Come down, have a cup of coffee, read a book, catch up on some emails, or just some time to woosah. Step away if you possibly can. Rafferty, we got some history, my man. What do you got first, my man? What do you got?
Well, my history comes back in 2006. On this day, Barry Bonds hits his 715th home run to surpass Babe Ruth. I think about that time, I think the talk really grew that, hey, he's making a run for Hank Aaron. He's got a shot at the all-time home run title. So that is my history for today. Barry Bonds' quest to become the all-time home run hit king.
How about this, AD? Because as since he brought up baseball, I want to mention this that was released yesterday. On this day, Willie Mays hit his first ever home run in a 4-1 loss. He hit it at the Polo Grounds. However, did you guys maybe see this yesterday? That it was announced, Major League Baseball announced that it's going to break ground on the original land of the Polo Grounds, and they're going to create a 2-scale replica of the Polo Grounds Stadium, similar to what they did with the Field of Dreams.
Oh, that's
cool. Every single year, they're going to play one game at the Polo Grounds that is essentially a 2-scale replica of what it used to be. It's going to have far less capacity than what it did back in the day, but it's going to be a stadium that they play a series of special events in every single year, starting in 2027 on the exact same land that the Polo Grounds was on. Because right now it's a park. Right now it's like Pelham Bay Park, I believe. There's a pond, there's a lake, whatever you want to call it. They're going to break ground and create a scaled replica of the Polo Grounds. Because you remember, it was incredibly short down each foul line. Well, nowadays the ball is traveling farther. I mean, the ball is jumping off the bat. So they're going to have to alter a couple of things. Right. But it's going to be a replica of the Polo Grounds with a significantly less capacity than what they had back in the day. Because you remember that way deep was in the corners was the bullpens,
right?
And you could have fans that sat way out in the outfields. But they're gonna create that, and it's gonna be ready to go by the 2027 season is what they're projecting.
You know, that's going to be cool when the thing is all said and done.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm going to think I'm going to do? I got a flight this afternoon, and you brought something up. I'm going to, I know I haven't watched Step Brothers yet, DF and Raff and Nick. I am going to download Field of Dreams because I've not watched that movie before.
Oh, it's very good.
I'm going to have to do that. How long is it, you guys?
It's not that long of a movie.
Hour and 45 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
So cool. And I have a direct flight to St. Louis and about a 30-minute Uber ride to where I'm going. So I might watch that this evening. Field of Dreams. That'd be a good one.
If you have been to Dyersville, Iowa to check it out, you have to do it. It's pretty cool.
How far is Dyersville from here?
Probably like 5 hours, probably.
So it's clear eastern Iowa then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dyersville is 5 hours and 25 minutes away from where we're at here at 1040 O Street. I just think that is one of the bucket list is to go to a Field of Dreams MLB game. I mean, I can't even imagine how cool that would be. But so cool. Yeah, it's going to be really, really neat to see them that completed in the 2027 season. And we're seeing the leagues, the NFL trying to expand, all across the pond and stuff like that internationally. Major League Baseball right now, Rob Manfred really trying to dive into the pastime with the Polo Grounds. Obviously brought in a little bit more of the other side of it with the Field of Dreams game, but really diving into the pastime with the replica of the Polo Grounds.
I love it. My only thing in history, I was looking this morning, big happy birthday to former Husker Nate Turner. Nate Turner's birthday is today, former wingback. Nate was one of the fastest and biggest wingbacks ever played in Nebraska, played a number of years in the pros with the Buffalo Bills, and so big shout out to big brother Nate Turner.
How about this? Old Dad 34 says, I get to go watch my grandson play on the Field of Dreams next month, fellas.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
Raff's been there.
Is that right?
It's so cool. It's super cool. You got to do it. Bucket list it, Nick. Get there. Right. MLB game.
I'll add it to the long bucket list.
Folks, at 10 o'clock when we come back, lots of changes to the stadium. When you in, you're going to have to stay in.
Believe it.
We'll be back.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK. Make flying easy.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog this morning, then a slight chance of showers this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies with a high near 69. Tonight, a chance of showers with a low near 51. Tomorrow, a chance of showers in the afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny with light winds and a high near 72. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Your Nebraska Lottery announces the 2025 NASCAR Powerball Playoff. And it's a great way to get on track for a chance to win $1,000. From May 27th to June 23rd, buy $2 of Powerball, enter the voucher number online, and you could be one of 20 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Roar into any Nebraska Lottery retailer and buy $2 of Powerball today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Welcome to The Drive with A.D. Raff and Ahman Green. Former Husker football national champion, speaker, and author, Aaron Davis.
Nebraska will win the national championship. The Cornhuskers beat Miami. It is history, 13-0, and bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Former Arena Football League quarterback, former head coach of the Capital City Crush, and guru of Husker football history, Chris Raff.
25 straight wins for the Cornhuskers. One of the most dominating stretches in college football history.
We may have seen one of the best teams in the history of college football tonight.
12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska eSports coach, Ahman Green.
Look at Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown.
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, it's springtime.
Hey,
Actually,
before we dive into the 10 o'clock segment, Give to Lincoln Day is this Thursday, May 29th. That is tomorrow, but you can donate now at givetolincoln.com. But here's the important part. Make sure you type in Matt Talbot in the search and choose your donation level. Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach's mission is to relieve hunger, overcome homelessness, address addiction, and provide outreach in Lincoln. We'll be on location at Matt Talbot on Thursday all day long, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., just north of 27th and Holdridge. Stop on by, make a donation, say hello, learn more about Matt Talbot. Lori Wellman of Matt Talbot's been on multiple shows the last couple of weeks talking about Matt Talbot's mission and just what they do. AD and I can attest, they do so much more than I initially thought. And it's a really, really cool program that they have over there at Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach. And so even if you don't want to make a donation, the awareness, spread awareness, stop on by, get a tour. Lori's going to be offering tours and her team. If you donate, please text the text line tomorrow. This is important too. 402-464-5685. We'll gladly shout you guys out and appreciate you guys publicly. That's in person. Or that's important, excuse me. If you also stop by in person, we will have giveaways for College World Series tickets, Lincoln Salt Dogs tickets, restaurant gift certificates, and so much more. Remember that website, givetolincoln.com. Type in Mount Talbot, and you can donate today.
Well, I tell you what, Troy Dannon was on the radio. I think it was last night. It's part of his weekly show, and
once a month.
And brought in some different perspectives and also brought some information. For instance, now, because there will be alcohol sold in the stadium, re-entry will no longer be allowed. You know, I know a number of people would go out to their tailgates at various spots around the stadium. The Champions Club across the street, North Stadium, whatever your tailgate may be. Maybe leave a few minutes before the second quarter was done, come back right before the fourth quarter. Those days are done. And here's the thing. I can understand there's maybe just some pushback from some fans and folks, et cetera. And I understand that. However, though, Nebraska is one of the last schools to even allow you to do that. A lot of your schools were like, no, once you're in, you are in. You know, there's no reentry, even from a security standpoint, et cetera. Raff, Nick, Rafferty, what's your take on that right there, my man?
The Nebraska marching band is back.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more people watching them. Here's what I would say. I think before everybody gets up in arms, let's remember that this is now turning very corporate, and it's a business, right? Mm-hmm. They're in this thing to make money, and because they offer alcohol sales now, Nebraska's going to make quite a bit more money. On top of that, though, is how can they keep people in the stadium and keep spending those dollars on alcohol and on other concession stand items? It's not allowing reentry. Let's all be realistic with ourselves. Let's be honest, right? We've all done it as fans. You've exited the stadium at halftime. You said, "Hey, let's go to a local establishment, maybe even to your vehicles if you tailgate. Let's go ahead and have a couple of beers, and then let's walk back into the stadium. That'll take us through the ball game. Hopefully Nebraska wins, and we get to come back out here in just 2 quarters and do it again." Now that's not going to be a possibility, right? Let's hope that I would say that on top of this, I would hope that Nebraska football, their marketing and fan experience departments are ready for additional traffic. And what I mean by that is they have a great fan experience. Troy Dannon's talked about it, how they want to update and they want to upgrade and continue improving the fan experience at the stadium, whether that's games, whether that's events, whether that is themes, whatever it might be, Nebraska is going to need to improve their fan experience because you're going to have many more fans sticking around for the game. I don't think it's going to be an adjustment. Sure, it'll be an adjustment for the first few days, for the first few games. But I think Nebraska fans are going to eventually say, you know what? This is what it is nowadays. We all wanted alcohol in the stadium, and this is the one thing we have to give up to have it.
Raff, Troy Dannon was quoted as saying, it's not a matter of going out at halftime and drinking as much as you can to try and make it back at last for the second half. When you're out, you're out. That will be a big change.
But think about this. When did the leaving at halftime kind of really take off?
Well, when they were losing.
Well, then I was to say when they lost.
Exactly. So if the product's on the field, like I'll tell you what, whether you come in no reentry or not, if the product's not there at the end of the first half, there's going to be people saying, yeah, I don't want to come back anyway. So I don't see it being too big of an issue. But if the product's not there, they're going to be gone, one way or the other. Because I think about back to the good old days when people started really making that out to the parking lot thing was when Nebraska was getting the doors blown off them at, before halftime.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point, Raff. And I want to bring up this text. And James in Lincoln is completely right. He says, no offense, Nick, but I'm so sick of the fan experience talk. Just win the game. That's all the experience I need. I go to watch a sport, not go to a country club. James in Lincoln, I absolutely agree. And in no way am I ever saying that fan experience and what you do during commercial breaks is going to make or break an experience, and that overtakes how important winning is. That's not what I'm getting at all. What I am saying, though, is that with the amount of commercials that there are during a game, and if Nebraska is on a fall Saturday playing, in this case, Akron, right? Mm-hmm. It's how are you going to get and keep people engaged if Nebraska's winning by 15 or 16 or 17, right? Like there is something to be said about, okay, what are you doing during commercial breaks? If you're in a certain situation to where you're trying to ask people, hey, can you spend $75 on a ticket at least to come in on a fall Saturday? You're going to spend at least $50 on concession stands items, and you're gonna ask them to sit through 105-degree heat in the middle of September. Then you're probably going to say, okay, how can we make this the best presentation for them? That means seamless on like instant replays. That means that the PA is good, that if they have an on-field person, that is professional. Something as simple as, and we've seen this, to where there's been miscommunication between the people running the replays and the highlights on the big screen and the person on the field talking about it. And they are two replays behind or two highlights behind the highlight that's playing on the Memorial Stadium screen. And it's incredibly difficult for all the fans to follow. Like those little things, just to make it a more professional feel and a more organized feel, are important when you're talking about trying to get people to spend $150 per person, essentially, to come to this game. It's you're going to keep on jacking up prices of tickets, and that's totally fine because we're in it to make money, and that's fine. Everybody's aware of that. But with higher investment becomes higher standards, and winning falls at the top of that list. Yes, but then other things are just as important at times too.
Rafferty also mentioned that obviously they have the new vending partnership with Aramark that's there, but he assured fans that Valentino's, a main staple, will still be there along with Runza. Bearberry hot dogs will still be there as well. But there's been some changes, though. They're going to have a new, like Hawks Indoor Center. They're no longer going to have recruiting events inside there. So they're going to have a new tailgate zone inside there for a tailgate experience. I don't know the deeper details of that, but the football team will no longer use that indoor facility on game days for recruiting. I'm sure they'll go to the Taj Mahal place they got right now, which I don't blame them. You definitely use that sucker as far as
show it off.
Show it off. Absolutely. So those are some of the changes that are taking place. And, you guys, you think about the winning part. Let's talk about winning for a second. Winning solves many problems.
Yep.
Look at baseball. Now, think about, again, I know we've belabored this point, but you think about if that young man catches that ball, our conversation about Nebraska baseball until next season. All right? Raff, it solves things. You think, okay, now granted, now I know the basketball team's different, but again, let's say they go to Vegas and get the brakes beat off. I'm like, man, you got beat when your regular season. You collapsed in the last month of your season, but they go there. Now, granted, I know it wasn't the big dance. We get that. We've talked about that. That's not the goal. That is definitely not the goal, to go to Vegas and play from loot, But again, you ended the season off on a good note. You won. Raff, winning does a lot of things, bro.
Oh, completely. Completely. Like all the talk about the stadium and leaving at halftime. If you're winning, no one cares. I mean, it's easy as that. When you're not winning, everybody picks at everything. I mean, it's pick here, pick here, pick here. Like it's just, I guess it's just the nature of the beast. Like I always, everybody, I know I bring up Frost from time to time, but think if a few of those games go differently then the picking's not there because you're winning. You're winning. I mean, that's at the end of the day, winning solves everything.
Nick, you look at some of the things that he talked about. We bring it to volleyball. He mentioned there's going to be some expansion plan for 2026. They're going to receive John Cook Arena for this upcoming season, 1,200 to 1,300, adding 1,200 to 1,300 new seats. He says become one of the hardest tickets to find in town. They had 2,300 people wanting to buy tickets, but only had 40 seats become available.
Yeah.
Winning again.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Winning. Nobody wants to give up volleyball tickets because they are a perennial powerhouse year after year in the sport of volleyball. I just think that when you look at Nebraska volleyball, we did the comparison a couple of years ago to like Alabama football when they were in their dynasty. And while Nebraska maybe hasn't won as many national championships as Nick Saban did during his run, they have 5 under their belt. I mean, guys, we bring up the expectation, right? With more investment comes higher expectation and higher expected on the return, right? And so with that is we all know, hey, you know what? Nebraska volleyball, you're gonna spend a little bit more than maybe you would if you went down the road and play or watched a Creighton volleyball game, or if you went over to Iowa and watched an Iowa volleyball game, or volleyball match, excuse me. But you're okay with it because you kind of expect them to dominate, and you're okay with paying a higher price to get in, a higher price for the experience, the higher price for the environment. When there's probably a 90% chance that I'm going to leave the arena in a really good mood, Raff.
It's crazy to think too, when Devaney or Cook or whatever the full name of it is now, when they first did that remodel, they were actually afraid that there would be too many seats. So when you go up into that standing room only section, they have like the standing room only, then they have the wall to the seats, and they were afraid that there might have been too many seats. Well, now they're going to have to go back, and what I'm guessing what they'll do to add the seats is they're just going to take down those walls and re-add the seats back in there again. So it's crazy, to think that back 15 years ago when they moved in there, that it was like they were so worried, like, oh my gosh, are we going to be able to keep this sellout streak? And now they're like, we got to add more seats.
Yeah, John Cook talked about that in his retiring press conference, where he talked about how when the conversations were going on, he was concerned about
trepidation.
Are we going to be able to fill this consistently? Not because they aren't winning, just because there's expectations that come with additional things like seats. And so when it's all said and done, it speaks to, once again, the powerhouse and the amount of success that has consistently been built up at Nebraska. Guys, while we're on the volleyball conversation, just from a big picture standpoint, I still just find it fascinating. You bring in a new coach, and Nebraska volleyball was in a spot to where no other Nebraska sport really has been, to where you move on from a Hall of Fame coach because of retirement, but you're not giving a young up-and-comer a chance. This isn't you going to try to find a diamond in the rough that you can afford. This is not you going to a mid-major school and saying, hey, this is your first Power 5 job, but we're going to give you all the resources. This is somebody that started her career coaching Nebraska, went to Louisville, brought them up from the dumpsters of the volleyball world into another national powerhouse and a nationally respected program. And she's coming to a place to where there's additional resources. This is an established volleyball coach. And so now this expectation is just here to where do we expect it to skip a beat?
You know, these are, Nick, you bring up a good point, because you think about when Cook took over Pettit. I mean, he took over an established powerhouse. You look when Devaney gave it over to Coach Osborne. You took over a powerhouse. You look at when Coach Osborne gave it to Frank.
You're right.
A powerhouse. We haven't, but look how long ago those were.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
we haven't seen those a lot, man.
Think about
modern history.
Yeah, Raff. Like, let's consider the last couple of hires just across the athletic department. Sure, maybe in some of the Olympic sports, there's been, they've taken over very successful programs. It'll be a similar case, when Mark Manning and Nebraska wrestling has to go through that when his days of coaching are over. Yeah. But that's down the road. But what I'm saying is, like, let's just revisit this. Husker basketball, Tim Miles was fine, nowhere to the success level of where Nebraska volleyball is at. Nebraska football, the dumpster after Scott Frost left, the dumpster after Mike Riley. I mean, you're talking about, hey, these guys need to come in and just rebuild this thing, and they need to do this from a wholesale change level. Maybe the closest comparison is Nebraska baseball when Darren Erstad retired. They came off of a regional appearance in Oklahoma City, or rather, against Oklahoma State, came off a regional appearance, and he decided to retire that offseason. Maybe but still, Will Bolt wasn't a sitting Power 5 head coach that had national success.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm trying to think back to the only one. I mean, it's been a long time ago. Was you go back to like Angela Beck and then Paul Sanderford. I mean,
sure,
but yeah, it's going to be. I'm kind of like, I'm trying to go back in my mind. I'm trying to think back to coaches and hires, stuff like that.
There's been so many of defense, man.
So they come in. The expectations, from the fans with DBK is championship or bust. And the funny thing is with her is she's coming in, I think, with the same exact expectations. I mean, she went from driving a Porsche to now she's got the Ferrari. So, she's ready.
Some of the texts on here are pretty cool. Claytonia John, I think this is a great one too. He goes, good morning to your brother. He goes, I remember when Arrowhead talking about reentry of stadiums. When Arrowhead said no more tailgating after kickoff, it sucked, but you got used to it and you moved on. And I think that's a great input on it as
it's
well.
Just going to be an adjustment period for sure. By the way, with tickets to Arrowhead, over 62,000 tickets have been sold for Arrowhead, which, by the way, will be around.
Chase,
and the thing about
Raffy.
I was just going to say, the also got to think about the thing about Arrowhead too is you want to see Patrick Mahomes play in the second half. I mean, it goes back to if they didn't have Patrick Mahomes, I guarantee you they'd be probably out breaking the laws.
Great point. That's a great point.
Chase B, good morning. He goes, I will say something I wish Nebraska would adopt. I saw this in Oklahoma at the Sooner Stadium. There was a QR code at your seat, and you could order chicken from your seat and go pick it up at a window.
Ooh.
I honestly don't think that's probably far away as they invest in more technology, et cetera.
As much bad blood as there is between, Nebraska, Oklahoma, I will say that's one of the better fan experiences that I've been to. I was there as a media member, but just seeing how they treated the fans. Now, one thing they needed to do better was point of sale for alcohol only. There was only a few in the stadium, and the lines were incredibly long as I was walking through the concourse going down to the field. But by the way, Nebraska will have 59 point of sale access points,
59 points
across the stadium for alcohol only. But that was another thing, right? Chicken. You mentioned chicken. The reason being because Chick-fil-A was a primary sponsor of the Oklahoma Sooners. That was our media meal. It was an 11 a.m. kickoff. We got to our seats, and sitting on there was the little chicken and biscuit type of thing for us, for the media folks. And then in the third quarter, they delivered like chicken sandwiches to us from Chick-fil-A. So they were the primary food sponsor of Oklahoma Sooners football.
Go ahead, Raffy.
Did he mention, are they putting lines up in the stadium for the beer, or are they bringing all in cans, or did he mention that?
They did not. He did not specifically mention that. I would imagine that it's simpler and more cost effective efficient, cost effective in the long run to just install lines and take care of that. Because guess what? Now this opens the door for additional concerts, and this opens the door for other events and cha-ching, cha-ching.
Cha-ching, money. You know what, Raff? I know you were in that space before in another lifetime when you did that. What would you suggest, just out of curiosity? Because I don't know anything about that. As far as what would you suggest, as far as and of course they'll have their bumps and their hiccups. what would you suggest being the most efficient way to distribute alcohol with that many people?
I would think you'd go up the lines, and then you could build a room, put all your kegs in, because you got to realize with this many people, and that if you bring in cans for every game, you got to have storage for all those cans. And at the 59 points, it'll be interesting to see, you know, how they do that. And then you got to think of the drivers and the people that are unloading that. I mean, I would not want to be one of those people that have to
do it weekly.
Yeah, I'd much rather have a room like where you can just bring a bunch of kegs in and have them all in storage, and
have that one designated room for keg storage, etc., paper cups, etc.
That'd be the mother load.
Yeah.
You'd walk by it, and there'd be a gold-plated sign that says keg storage, alcohol storage.
Yeah.
There'd be a
Well,
lineup.
let's just say the beer distributors in Lincoln have big smiles on their faces. That's for sure.
100%.
Well, here's one thing that we go to break. If they did do cans, is there a potential partnership with the Nebraska logo on the cans?
Oh, maybe a special edition.
Just thinking. Just thinking.
I wish I could shout out my favorite beer right now, but they're not friends of the station, so I can't.
Just thinking. Colt 45?
No, I said beer.
In a brown paper, Colt 45 in a brown paper bag. Pour some out for the homies.
No, thank you. We will pour one out for our good friend of the station that's going to be joining us next. Connor Onion of the Big Ten Network and Fox Sports is going to be joining us next. Send us to break, AD.
We'll be right back, folks, with Mr. Onion on the drive.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The electrical workers of local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Need service on your home air conditioner? No matter what brand you have, just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Father's Day is coming soon, and you know what that means. Backyard parties and lots of grilling. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? A dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning keep you ready all grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so your grill can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Your Nebraska Lottery announces the 2025 NASCAR Powerball Playoff. And it's a great way to get on track for a chance to win $1,000. From May 27th to June 23rd, buy $2 of Powerball, enter the voucher number online, and you could be one of 20 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Roar into any Nebraska Lottery retailer and buy $2 of Powerball today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
The goal for those coming on the road, let's go get that first. And then here's what'll happen. There'll be you'll kind of be lackadaisical. Instead of keeping that energy, why not two? Instead of keeping that energy, you'll probably see just a little bit more ease of play. Because in the psyche, we did what we came to do.
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
From Renew.
Let's talk about this segment brought to you by our friends at Renew. Call or text Nate, Eric, or David at 402-833-3858, or you can visit Renew online at renewyourauto.com. Raff, what do they do best?
Everything.
That is correct. From body shop, ceramic coatings, window tinting, spray-in bed liners, paintless dent repair, rust proofing, and undercoating, they do it all. Give Nate, Eric, or David a text or a call today at 402-833-3858 or learn more online at renewyourauto.com and see what Renew can do for you. Okay, guys, before we get to our special guest, we have to play this to set the tone of the next 20-minute conversation or so. Here we go.
Who serves it to left. Swanson is there. The magical ride through the elimination bracket complete. Nebraska, the Big Ten tournament champion for the first time ever. A jam-packed crowd has reached a fever pitch. And strike 3 called. A turbulent season ends with a repeat. Nebraska dogpiles for the second straight year at the Big Ten tournament.
Let's bring in that voice that you heard via the Big Ten Network. Connor Onion joins us on the Allo VIP line. Connor, appreciate the time as always, my friend. It's good to talk to you again. I know one of your favorite places to call a game is Charles Schwab Field for sure. Let's just talk about it. When you hear those 2 calls, obviously here in Husker land, I mean, just what goes through your mind after Nebraska goes through the elimination bracket in 2024, like we heard you say there. And then now in 2025, thanks to a dropped fly ball by Parker Pacat in right field for Michigan State, they're able to win the championship for the second year in a row.
Well, it makes me hope that I'm not letting down your audience by not being that fired up at this time of the morning. Obviously, no, you're right, Nick. And hey, guys, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
But you're right. It's a place. This may sound a little bit sappy, but it's a place when that week comes to an end, it's always a little bit sad because it's sometimes 3 baseball games in one day, or it's 8 baseball games that I'm calling in 4 or 5 days, and it is so much fun. And I think the experience that we've had as a crew the last 2 years there with Husker fans, last year the whole lower bowl was full, and this year they Husker fans were all the way out in the outfield. It just feels like such a big event. And I've never been to the College World Series in person. Obviously, I've watched it my whole life, but Husker fans almost by themselves make it feel what I would imagine is similar to that, that stretch in June where everybody from throughout the country is coming. And it's pretty impressive that, one fan base coming from all throughout the state, whether it's 9 a.m. or 5 o'clock, or last year, the game got moved up to 10 a.m. because of rain. Without a doubt, every single time that place is loud, and you've got Ty Horn, the pitcher, the other day having to hold his pitch comm up to his ear just so he can hear the call. So there are all those images and all those sounds that just make it feel big, and a lot of that is obviously because Husker fans fill that place up.
Connor, I guess let's talk big picture here before we talk specifically Nebraska. The format was a very, very hot topic this year, and probably for right reason, right? It was unconventional. I think a lot of fans we heard it on our show, but then also on social media asking, why the Big Ten just doesn't adopt the softball format, right? It worked out so well for the softball side of things. A lot of people don't realize it was done for a couple of reasons. One of them was it alleviated the pressure that's put on some of the arms, right? Obviously, the unnatural arm movement and the snapping of it, the pitch counts are certainly a concern nowadays. I guess from your point of view, and obviously talking to experts in that field and working the games, just your overall thoughts on the new format. Do we see it ever change? Do we see it evolve? Kind of just your overall thoughts on that.
I definitely think we will see it evolve. I don't know for the near future if it'll change next year, but it's definitely been a topic that's come up in our conversations with the coaches and each of the teams that we cover throughout the tournament. And, I get it from a fan's perspective and even from the TV perspective. When you have meaningless games this time of year, or at least meaningless for who's going to play in the semifinals, I don't think that's necessarily the best product to put out there for the league. But I think the reverse of that would be USC, for example. They played Washington in their final pool play game, and that was not significant as far as who was going to go out of the pool because Penn State had already advanced out of that pool. But the way the committee handled it, based on watching selection yesterday, or I guess 2 days ago, coming out of this week, I always forget what day 100%. But watching selection the other day, USC was the final team in. So what that tells me from the committee is if they didn't win their quote unquote meaningless pool play game, they don't get into the NCAA tournament. And I think that's a bigger discussion to be had about the Big Ten and selection. Because, if this were the 4 West Coast schools still in the Pac-12 and 3 of them get in, well, then the Pac-12 would have gotten 3 and the traditional Big Ten would have only gotten 1. So I don't see how you add those teams in and it's a 4-bid league. Because, any other year, I think we're probably talking about Michigan and Iowa being right there in the mix as, a second, third, and then, maybe Indiana finds their way in as a 4th team. So that's something that I would like the committee to consider, is that the conference expanded and got better. But I don't necessarily think it was treated that way when it came to the selection. But if we get to that point, then I think pool play makes a little bit more sense because you have more implications for hosting, you have more at-large implications, and it would make this format a little bit more viable, and those quote-unquote meaningless games mean more.
Connor, I'm glad you went there. We're talking to Connor Onion of the Big Ten Network and Fox Sports on our Allo VIP line. And I'm glad you went there because it seems like you and I have this conversation every time you join the show, to where the national perception of the Big Ten Conference and the respect level that the conference gets. Nebraska gets in, obviously, because they get the automatic bid. But then you look at the other three teams that made it, and they're teams that were not a member of the conference just a few years ago. I guess, how have you seen maybe the national respect level change, improve, I guess? Because I also looked at it as, okay, if UCLA and Oregon aren't host schools and if they're not a member of the Big Ten Conference, how many teams get in? It's never going to be the level of the SEC where somehow, some way they get 13 teams into the regionals. But I don't know. We've seen 40-win Rutgers teams get left out, and we've seen some real teams get snubbed of postseason opportunities simply because of the schedule that they play in the conference that they're affiliated with.
Definitely. And the Rutgers thing is always going to eat at me, and I think a lot of people throughout the league. And because that was the double elimination format, and in 2022 they did not lose on their way to the championship game. And the way that format worked was it's double elimination until the championship, where it's just one game. It's not a lose and you get a second chance.
Yeah.
And another wrinkle to that, you guys might remember, was that was the year that we were playing until 3 or 4 in the morning because rain backed everything up. So
rain in Omaha, that's crazy.
Right. But I don't know the solution exactly, but that's why we're fortunate that the West Coast schools have brought in a lot of, I think, different opinions because they've seen it from a different perspective being out West for a while. And, I think the way that UCLA scheduled and Oregon scheduled, they're playing Oregon State in midweeks. And, even Nebraska, they had a series at home against Oregon State, and Iowa did as well. I think there's some carryover from that sort of scheduling perspective of, I did not envy Nebraska early in the year having to go at UCLA and at USC back to back. But what it did allow them to do is, play a Pepperdine, which a lot of years that's going to be an RPI boost. And, that just happened to come at a time of the year where Nebraska is on the road for 10, 11 days straight, and they're on a bus, not a plane, quite a bit. So maybe it wasn't quite as productive as it would have been if, say, that was you go out there for one of those teams, just USC or just UCLA, and then play the midweek. But I do think that will help get the league some respect. If the Big Ten can do that and find ways to win some of those games too, we might be having a different conversation this time next year.
Connor, Aaron Davis here. Thanks again for being with us, man. You look at that Nebraska team. You mentioned the UCLA game, the USC game, the Pepperdine. Nebraska did fairly well against highly ranked teams throughout the year. 6-2, I believe, is what they went prior to the tournament, etc. We go back. We've been talking about this all week. If the young man from Michigan State drops that ball in the field, and let's say he catches it, what's your opinion on Nebraska baseball if he catches it and that's the end of Nebraska's run?
Yeah, I mean, that was a what if we were very close to talking about. I mean, that's probably where my brain was about to shift if that ball ends up in Parker Pico's glove the other night. But I haven't had to think too deeply about that because that's not the way it went. But, obviously it would have been, I don't think anybody inside the program would have shied away from admitting that it would have been a disappointment if that ball gets caught, you lose your first pool play game to a 12 seed and your season's over for a team that, most people thought would finish first or second or third in the league. And, I don't think it can be understated how much it mattered that Mason McConaughey got hurt, the Friday night starter after 3 games into the year, for him anyway, or 3 weeks into the year. That plus, I think Josh Caron, not having him there was a bigger deal than I think I realized, which was probably foolish of me because he hit 6 home runs in the tournament last year and is a stud. But it really is an amazing story just with, the drop fly ball plus, some of the guys that came through late in the tournament, Hogan Haligso at catcher, who was hitting under 200 late in the season. Rhett Stokes filling in the final 2 games at third base for Josh Overbeek, who hurt his ankle. Ty Horn had never gone more than 6 innings, and he throws 8 shutout in the championship game.
The young freshman, Onion. The young freshman, just young man.
Devin Nunez.
Nunez, yes, thank you.
Yeah. He had 1 double before the semifinals, and then he hit 3 in one day. And then he homers in the championship game. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Go ahead, Rafferty.
All right, I have 2 questions for you, Connor. This is Chris Raff. My first question is, what were your impressions of Nebraska going into the tournament? And then what were your impressions going out of the tournament? Do you think they can get through the North Carolina Regional?
Yeah, dangerous going. You mean in the Big Ten tournament? Was that your question?
Yep.
Yeah. Dangerous, obviously, because what we kind of talked about at the beginning of, it is essentially a home game every time they play there. And the guys in the lineup that were in there the first game of the tournament, I think 7 of them were on the team last year. So they had the experience. Gabe Swanson's going to hit a bunch in that ballpark, which he did again. So I felt if they won that first game, it was a Friday night game against the 1 seed Oregon. There'd be a good crowd. And depending on how Nebraska pitched it, they had a chance to get to the semifinals. Obviously, I didn't see it unfolding the way that it did. But can they win the regional? That's a great question. I think if Jackson Brockett and Ty Horn pitched like they did this last weekend, I don't see why not. And Will Bolt and Rob Childress really did press all the right buttons when it came to hitting and running, bunting, all those things offensively, but also, stacking the 2 lefties against Oregon, I thought was genius because, you see the numbers overall for Oregon on the year and they are gaudy, but they're the second worst left-handed hitting offense in the Big Ten, which is hard to believe. Wow. So they went, Brockett and Walsh back-to-back lefties and those numbers stayed true. And I think, Rob Childress obviously has been a part of legendary Nebraska teams going back to the early part of the century and now 2 championships in this tournament. And I think a lot of it is how him and Coach Bolt have mixed and matched the pitching this time of year. So if Luke Broderick pitches like he did this week, look out too. I didn't see him being a 50, 60 pitch guy multiple times in the tournament. And he was outstanding.
We're joined by Connor Onion of Big Ten Network and Fox Sports. Connor, 2 more rather quick ones for you. We've went through this entire conversation without specifically talking about Mr. May, is what you coined him. Gabe Swanson, something happens when he steps on the dirt at Charles Schwab Field. Can we even put that into words on just how clutchy he is at times in the Big Ten baseball tournament?
No, we really can't. And I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. So our production crew, they're doing 15 games in 1 week and can get a little slap happy at times, especially when we're doing, as we coined it this week, Big Moon Kickoff.
Yeah.
They were trying to come up with as many Gabe Swanson puns as possible after, I don't know who gets credit for Babe Swanson or anything like that. I think it's probably somebody internal with Nebraska or one of the very intelligent fans. But the Mr. May thing kind of came up, and I don't know if that was an original thought or if somebody had gone there before. But I think the first game where he comes through with a bunch of good at bats again, I was like, Reggie Jackson is Mr. October. Mm-hmm. Gabe Swanson's kind of on a similar ride here, Mr. May. So by the end of it, I had producer in my ear each game with like a new Gabe Swanson pun. and the best one, which I cannot take credit for, after Nebraska won the other day for the second time, producer goes, "Well, what about Gabe of Thrones?" And I was
There
like,
it is. That's a really good one.
So I think one of the last things I said on the air before we went off the other day was, we've talked about Ty Horn, we've talked about the pitching and some of the stars on offense. One of the guys we haven't mentioned is Gabe Swanson, who now sits on a Gabe of Thrones.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Go ahead, Raffy. What's up?
All right, Connor. Last question from me. There was a pitcher back in the 80s. He had 4 no-hitters go into the final out where he lost all 4 of them with the Toronto Blue Jays. Your love of Dave Stieb.
I told the guys about the Dave Stieb signed card, Onion.
I love it. Are we doing a pack opening today or what?
No, not today. But here's the thing: is I'm tired of seeing. I'm a Cubs guy. Maybe you didn't know this. I'm a Cubs guy. I'm tired of seeing a White Sox card on my desk in the back of our station here.
Does that mean I have to come pick it up?
At some point, you were 35 minutes down the road.
Well, I'm sure at some point, either football season or basketball season, I'll be in town, so I'll make it a point to come pick it up. But yeah, that's where I started my career, was Southern Illinois University, and that's where Dave Stieb pitched. And Nick, I may have told this story last year, but Steve was a center fielder, and because of an outfield assist, a scout saw his arm and turned him into a pitcher. So Dave Stieb, close to my heart. You guys happen to be talking about him, I think, the last time I was on the show. And
that is
if I have to be known for something, and it's being a Dave Stieb supporter, I'm happy to wear that brand.
It's certainly not as a broadcaster, right? No, I'm kidding. Hey, so what's on deck for you? Because now Big Ten baseball is kind of in the rearview mirror. What's on deck for you? I know you've tapped into the Major League Baseball pool, which congrats on that with Fox and everything there. What's kind of like your next thing on the schedule for Connor Onion?
Yeah, so Friday night I'll finish up the UFL schedule for Fox. Got my final regular season spring football game, and then Saturday I'm back into the MLB world. So I've got Nationals and Diamondbacks on Saturday night, and June will be relatively steady, mostly weekends with the MLB stuff, and kind of know the schedule through the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So June and early July will be MLB, and then obviously be prepping for college football before we know it, and probably finishing out with some baseball throughout the summer too. So I guess no off season, working around the clock.
Connor, you were at you called a game at Yankee Stadium a couple weeks ago, right?
I did.
So
was great.
You were there for a baseball game. I was there for a football bowl game. I would much rather be there for a Yankees game rather than Nebraska Boston College, but it is what it is.
It felt a little bit like a bowl game the day that I was there, because it was like 40 and rainy.
Yep.
And I actually brought that up to somebody in the press box. I didn't realize there are no windows in the main press area.
Yeah.
Did you have that experience?
Yeah. So we were sitting there, and it was all outside, and it was raining, and it was cold. Obviously, December 27th or whatever the day of the bowl game was. I mean, it was cold, but it was not nearly as bad as what it was on the field. And it was, it was soaking wet down on the field as well.
Yeah, I would have thought when they made the new press box that they would have had like a garage door that rolls up or something like that.
Now, I will say, shout out to the Steinbrenners, because the media meal, I don't know what it's like for Yankee games. I'm sure it's incredible, but the media meal was as best as I've ever had.
I think Yankee Stadium and Houston, I'd say, would be one and two.
Yeah.
Depending on the day, but little Houston barbecue when I was there last year, and that was
sure.
Yeah, that was the authentic stuff, not the fake barbecue.
All right, Connor. Hey, man, we'll let you go. We appreciate the time as always,
Connor.
my friend, and I'm sure we'll catch you in the fall when you get to Lincoln.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, C.
There he is, Connor Onion of the Big Ten Network and Fox Sports. Good stuff from him. Obviously, the voice of the Big Ten baseball tournament. Good stuff there from Connor. Always a good time.
Absolutely, Nick. Thanks for lining it up too.
Geez,
Appreciate it, man. Great time. Wish him the safe travels, etc. Folks, we'll be back with the RGT 80 Attitude Adjustment. It's the drive. We'll be right back.
Your Nebraska Lottery announces the 2025 NASCAR Powerball Playoff. And it's a great way to get on track for a chance to win $1,000. From May 27th to June 23rd, buy $2 of Powerball, enter the voucher number online, and you could be one of 20 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Roar into any Nebraska Lottery retailer and buy $2 of Powerball today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Upgrade your fleet with a pre-owned 8R tractor from Landmark Implement. We offer a wide selection of used John Deere 8Rs, ready to bring power and precision to your operation. For a limited time, take advantage of 2.9% financing for 36 months, followed by 6.2% for 24 months. We'll help you find the right fit for all your acres, all backed by Landmark's trusted parts and service department. Visit landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark location today and experience the Landmark difference.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back for a very quick segment. Raff, Nick was looking out the door. I know you know about some doors, Raff. Talk to us about them.
You better believe it. We're proudly sponsored by Doors Plus. If garage door needs maintenance, you need an entirely new garage door, give Cameron Honda's team a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus is locally owned and handles everything from residential or commercial garage doors, garage door openers, safety tune-ups, or custom design. Visit DoorsPlusLLC.com to learn more. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
What's your RGTC for today, my brother?
All right, everybody. Today's Raff's Good Take goes out to Lincoln Youth Football. Last night was the first night of the Girls Flag Football League that they began. Just for everything that they're doing for football in the city of Lincoln, running flag football leagues, 7-on-7 leagues, tackle football leagues. They are all in trying to put football, youth football on the map here in Lincoln, Nebraska. So I just wanted to congratulate them for the new flag football league. Super cool. You guys are Ralph's Good Take.
There you go. Congrats to those to all those involved in that. AD attitude adjustment is very quick today. I posted this morning. I was thinking one word: begin. That's it. Just begin. Whether it's that project you've been putting off, that new initiative, that new goal, that new objective, just begin. I'm going to say this. I'm going to start saying this a lot, like Bob Barker did to have your pet spaded or neutered. Instead of having your pet spaded or neutered, I'm going to start putting this every day. I remember, going to put in my notes: get to your physicals, particular to the men. I can't stress it enough. I met with a gentleman last week. that just was diagnosed with prostate cancer, walking with him through that. Book your appointments ASAP. I'm begging you, men and women both, get to your doctors. Raff, take us away, my man.
All right, everyone. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Be nice to each other. See ya.
Quick note, Nick. Tomorrow remote, you'll be at Matt Talbot. Me and Raff will be off. Nick will be on.
I'm on. I'm here. Bye, Raffy.
See ya.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran